Hello everyone, it's Monique from Japanesey Reads. So tonight I wanted to give another update on how we're going with the Japanese literacy project, the action research project that we are implementing with a school in Melbourne, a primary school, and we're targeting years 2, 3, and 4. So as I've shared before, our big questions, I suppose, are: can students read fluently and comprehend text without explicit targeted teaching of hiragana characters? That's a big question that we are really keen to test out and find out in primary schools. And another question: how can we foster a genuine love of reading from the very start in young learners? We know how important reading is to provide more input, which helps to develop the students' acquisition of language. So if we can really foster a genuine love of reading right from the very beginning, we are doing a great service for our students. And number 3, what strategies can we implement to ensure that all students experience success in reading, not just the top level? We're looking at maximising the reading success for all students. So in my experience, the way that I have previously focused on literacy in my Japanese classrooms has been, as maybe many teachers, Japanese teachers, it has been focusing on each of the characters and really memorizing those and explicitly teaching those characters. And while that works for some, in my experience, the bulk of the students in the class really struggle. Some love learning the script. Some students, that's their jam, and that's great. But for the bulk of the students, they're not experiencing early success in reading at all. It is a battle. And if there's a battle early on, it just makes it more and more challenging for the students to find that spark, that joy in reading. So this project really was a way to look outside the box of traditional style of teaching literacy with script, and to test it out and see what happens when we expose the students to large amount of rich oral input, and we really focus on that, and then we scaffold their reading such that they can hear the little Japanese voice in their head because they've had so much rich oral input, and because we have scaffolded their reading so that they are not decoding, but they are reading for meaning. And probably speaking to the converted here, but why promote early reading? Well, as I've said, it provides an opportunity for all students to feel successful, and that's a really powerful thing. So promoting early reading really enforces the high frequency language, those Super 7 that I've spoken so much about, that Terry Walsh has identified as the biggest bang for your buck as far as language use and what can be said using the smallest amount of words. Promoting early reading early on builds their confidence. It gives all students a chance to feel the success right from the very beginning. And fun, comprehensible reading can lead to motivated students. who keep reading, and that's when the acquisition can happen. So just to recap, in year 2, we are really, our base is, our focus is on Boris. So at the end of this project, we are looking at the students being able to read independently this book. You can see that there are 2 editions. So there's the scaffolded edition, which has some additional support for emergent readers with the use of some Romaji for proper nouns. However, the bulk of the high frequency language chunk and the Super 7 verbs are in script. The extension editions are the same story. However, there's no support in the form of Romaji. Both editions have a glossary and footnoted assistance there for kanji with the footnotes, but the extended edition has no additional support, so it's just fully in script. In year 3, our focus story is Bergaman, and in year 4, it is Australia. So this is a little bit of a snapshot of how we're going so far, of the overview of the project, 7 weeks, a breakdown of the 7 weeks. So in week 1, we did the pre-testing, and that was using the vocab from each of the books. So this is year 2, and seeing what their entry point was. We used Plickers to gather that information. So Plickers is an assessment tool that records all of the individual students' responses, and they use a similar to a QR code. They have their own individual code with A, B, C, D, and they rotate around to indicate which answer they are choosing, if it's A, B, C, or D. So we have that data. We will also do another test at the end to sort of gauge how any changes or how the students have gone. Each week, the classroom teacher has a password, and that password is their oral word or phrase to enter into the classroom, and then they do mindful writing of that character. So in week 1, it was watashi. The oral input for week 1 was a picture talk about Sensei no Petto, and in each week, there is an oral input activity. It could be picture talk, it could be movie talk, it could be chit chat or question and answers, but there is always an oral input section in the lesson. One big project goal across all the levels that we're doing this project in is to implement Write and Discuss each week. Write and Discuss is a comprehensible input strategy, which is brilliant for many, many reasons. For this project goal, the Write and Discuss will be gathered from each class. So in essence, by the end of it, we'll have quite a little library of very accessible, student-created, limited, using limited targeted language, little texts that will be the start of a classroom library. So I'll go into more detail about Write and Discuss and its benefits in another webinar. You can see also here that true to school life, there are a number of interruptions here, and Koromona here activities and the Japanese Day over 2 weeks have meant disruptions for classes. So the project really will be very true to life, how it is and how we have to maximize our limited classroom time and comprehensible input approach that's more acquisition focused really does do this beautifully because of the repeated nature of the language, that small bank of language, that the Super 7 words are being recycled and reused over and over and over. So it does really assist in this challenging part of a teacher's schedule. Other things to note is that each week there'll be gesture checks and games. So each of the Super 7 and the conjunction words that are used to have their own gesture. So the teacher uses those. She also has been using some of the Shuwa Japanese sign language for some of the words too, such as the color words and some of the animal words too. So, and yes, the plickers will also be used as the exit tickets for each week. Just short, sharp couple of questions, just to to see where the students are at. So this is year 2, and I just thought I'd go through a couple of the activities that have been done so far. So a write and discuss that the teacher did, and you can see the original class text up the top there. The teacher was guiding the students with questions about what they had been previously talking about. So Sensei no Petto was discussed, and then the teacher was providing some scaffolding and then writing up as a class their little recap. So you can see what the class created there. I've then extended that to provide more exposure to those key words, those key vocab, and so that is now going to be the next week's reading activity, the reading content. So another reading activity is a mind reader, which you may have heard. It's a Gianfranco Conti's mind reader activity. And so with the mind reader, the teacher, after going through these sentences slowly, checking for comprehension as you go, the teacher then will think of one of those, 1, 2, 3, or 4, and writes that number down that they're thinking, and the class needs as to try and mind read which one did Sensei pick. So they have to read that out. They can say sanban, san desu ka, or they, for the students that are able to, they may read through Sensei no petto wa bluey janai desu. So they pick that one. If it was number 2, Sensei will say hi, and so forth. One thing that we did tweak, I had probably six sentences in the original mind reader for the year 2s, which was too much. So we reduced that to 4, and that worked much better. So for the 3s, similar structure. obviously just with some different the different passwords and a little bit of a few different other activities. But ultimately, starting with the password, then going into some oral discussion, like a chit chat about who's strong or what superhero they like. Lots of I'll just show you one here. So, for example, using this picture talk to discuss things about, so this is for Burger Man. So, Hulk wa dare desu ka? And prompt, using this as your prompt. So, Hulk wa, oops, we've lost wa. Hulk wa dare desu ka? Dare desu ka? Hulk no kodomo desu ka? Child, kodomo desu ka? Right. And then you could also have a little discussion here about dare desu ka? Superman desu ka? Spider-Man desu ka? Iie, Iron Man desu. Iron Man desu. Iron Man desu. Dare desu ka? Iron Man no kodomo desu ka? Iron Man no inu desu ka? So again, recycling lots of the question words with a des, janai des, ski des, whatever the focus is for. In this case, for the threes, it's des, ski, janai, and tsioi are those sort of key words. So really manipulating and really exploiting the small amount of words to use them in a variety of different ways. Spider-Man wa tsuyoi desu ka? Tsuyoku nai desu ka? So lots and lots of oral input there. So who is strong, then a write and discuss to talk about who is strong, who isn't strong, what is strong. And then, yes, that will be the students, the student created one will be extended a little bit more for more exposure to those key characters and language chunks. Here is an example here. This was the original text. And then it's been extended here so that we can use this text in lots of different ways with lots of different activities. One being the whole class cold character reading style of reading. And again, I have some webinars on that, so please check those out in my YouTube channel. So just moving on, personalized questions and answers is another one too, using oishi, which in the Burger Man story comes up. So oishi, oishikunai, ichiban oishi wa nan desu ka? Vegemite wa 日本の食べ物ですか？はい、いいえ。ミートパイは、イタリアの食べ物ですか？日本の美味しい食べ物は何ですか? So lots of questions and answers using the word wall to provide some some scaffold, some support. And this is for the year 4s. So similarly, you can see focus on the oral, then the write and discuss, and the reading. So this provides the structure that we're using. The mind reader game here, we've just extended the sentences for the year 4s, so there's a few more there. And this week we have added 2 quick questions, and the purpose of this is to really track the students' perceptions. So we want to know their general level of enjoyment of reading. And that's any reading. So do they see themselves as readers? Do they enjoy reading outside in their free time? Is that something that they enjoy doing? And the second question is about their perceptions of their ability to read in Japanese script. So how confident do they feel about reading in the script? So we are really curious about whether students who have already experienced a good amount of success in reading their first language, how do they tackle reading a Japanese script? Can this approach create a safe, achievable entry point for those who don't really see themselves as readers? So, yeah, ultimately, we really hope that comprehensible input instruction, such as this project, helps all students feel successful and build confidence and joy in reading in Japanese. So the 2 questions that we included this week, and again, we used the Plickers to collect this data. So question 1 was, do you like reading in English in your free time? And how much do you enjoy reading in English when it's your choice? So A is not at all, okay, yes, I like it, and D is I love it. So relating to the confidence, their perception of their ability and how confident they feel about reading in script, A is not confident at all. I don't think I can do it. B is a little confident, but I might be able to do some. C is, yeah, I'm pretty confident. I think I would be able to do it, even with, some difficulty. And D is very confident. I know that I can do it. So we implemented this 2-question survey this week, and apart from the 3s, we were able to get some data from the 2s and the 4s. The 3s were missed out this week because of the Japanese Day. But you can see here, Plickers does give some really helpful, insightful information here, and we can actually track different students. So we have information about the students that are on the individual learning plans, those that are competent readers, those that have some learning difficulties, and we can see now their perceptions of, how are they coming in? Do they like reading? Is that something that they feel comfortable doing and choose to do? And, how is it going to impact on their ability to, or their idea of their ability to read in script? They're the year 2s. You can see here the year 3s. The year 4s. So So far, it's been really, really interesting, and I'm very much looking forward to continuing this project um, and making drawing some conclusions at the end when we can see uh, how the students approach reading a text like Bergerman, Boris, and Australia, and yeah, if what we need to do to ensure that they are experiencing success in reading as soon as possible. So, thank you for joining me tonight. And if you've got any questions at all about the project, the readers, I would love to chat with you. So please reach out. Until then, 頑張りましょう。